Imagine you are floating in space, drifting toward a giant, glowing world. Its enormous, calm, beautiful golden bands stretch across its surface like silk, and around it, a perfect halo, endless rings made of ice and dust shimmering in silence. It looks peaceful. It looks safe. But as you get closer, something feels wrong, because this is Saturn, and nothing about it is peaceful. At first, it feels like a dream. You glide past the rings, watching billions of ice fragments orbit in perfect harmony. Some are tiny like dust. Others are the size of mountains. They sparkle like diamonds under distant sunlight. For a moment, you forget where you are. You feel weightless, free. But here's the problem. Those beautiful rings are moving at speeds faster than bullets. Each piece of ice is racing around the planet at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. If you get too close, even a grain of dust could hit you like a microscopic missile. And this is where things change. The beauty isn't calm, it's violent. As you descend deeper, the scale begins to break your mind. Saturn is so large it could swallow Earth over 700 times. Its gravity starts pulling you faster and faster and faster. You're not falling onto a surface, because there is no surface. There is no ground, no place to land, no solid escape. Only gas, only pressure, only descent. But it gets worse. The upper atmosphere greets you with clouds that look soft, almost harmless. Pale yellows, faint golds, gentle swirls. But these clouds are not air like Earth. They are made of hydrogen and helium, and they are moving violently. Winds here reach speeds of over 1,800 kilometers per hour, faster than the strongest hurricanes ever recorded on Earth. You are immediately caught in it, spinning, tumbling, dragged sideways across an endless sky. You can't stabilize yourself. You can't stop, and there's nothing to hold on to. But that's not even the worst part. As you fall deeper, the temperature begins to drop, rapidly. You are now entering layers where it is colder than Antarctica, colder than anything you've ever experienced. Your body starts to fail. Your equipment freezes. Your breath becomes impossible. But somehow, you keep falling. Because gravity doesn't stop, and neither does Saturn. Then, suddenly, the cold disappears, and it is replaced by heat, intense, crushing heat. As you sink further into the atmosphere, pressure builds around you. The gas becomes thicker, heavier, denser. It no longer feels like air. It feels like a liquid. You are being squeezed from every direction. Your body can't handle it. Your lungs collapse. Your bones begin to compress. And still, you keep falling. But here's the problem. There is no clear moment where you arrive. No impact, no ending. Just deeper layers of pressure and death. Somewhere far above you, a silent witness once passed through this nightmare. Cassini. For years, it studied this planet orbiting it, watching it, measuring it. And in 2017, it made a final decision. It dove into Saturn itself, a suicide mission, because even machines cannot survive what lies below. As it fell, it transmitted data until the pressure crushed it. The signal vanished forever. And that's when scientists realized something terrifying. We don't fully understand what's inside. And this is where things get worse. Much worse. Deep beneath the clouds, far below where anything human could ever reach, something strange begins to happen. The pressure becomes so extreme that hydrogen itself changes. It becomes liquid, not like water, something heavier, denser, metallic. An ocean of liquid hydrogen, a place where electricity flows freely, where physics behaves in ways we can barely comprehend. If you somehow reached this layer, you wouldn't just be crushed, you would be erased. Your atoms forced into conditions they were never meant to endure. But that's not even the worst part, because hidden inside Saturn, there may be a core, a dense, rocky heart. But no one has ever seen it, No probe has ever reached it, and no signal has ever returned from that depth. It is a place of complete darkness, complete pressure, complete silence. And if you were still somehow falling, this is where you would finally stop existing. But let's go back above the clouds, back to where the rings shine. Because even out there, where it looks safe, you are not alone. Saturn has over 140 moons. Some are small, broken, frozen. Others are worlds of their own, like Titan, a place where lakes are not made of water but liquid methane, where rain falls but it's not rain, you could survive, where the sky is thick orange, suffocating. If you stood there, you wouldn't burn, you wouldn't freeze instantly. You would slowly suffocate in a world that looks almost familiar but is completely alien. And then there's Enceladus, a frozen moon with something hidden beneath. An ocean, a dark, global ocean under ice. Geysers shoot water into space, hinting at something below, something we haven't seen, something we don't understand. And that's where the fear shifts. Because it's not just what Saturn does to you, it's what it might be hiding. You are now surrounded by a system that looks beautiful but behaves like a trap. Rings that can shred you, storms that can tear you apart, pressure that can crush you out of existence, moons that mimic life but deny survival, and distances so vast that no rescue is possible. If you were here, you wouldn't just die, you would disappear, alone, silently, forgotten in a system that doesn't even notice you. But here's the most terrifying part. From far away, Saturn looks like one of the most peaceful places in the universe. A perfect sphere, perfect rings, perfect symmetry. It doesn't look dangerous. It doesn't look deadly. It looks calm. And that illusion is what makes it terrifying, because it reminds you of something deeper, something uncomfortable. The universe does not need to look hostile to be deadly. It doesn't need sharp edges or monstrous shapes. Sometimes, the most dangerous places are the most beautiful ones. And as you drift away, leaving Saturn behind, you realize something you can't unlearn. You were never meant to be there. You were never meant to survive there. Because space was never built for you, and it never will be.